Hey everybody, this is your friend Daniel Hutchins. We're back again for another Talks with Dan and another video of random. Yep. So again, like I said, I'm just gonna let you guys know first off what's been going on with me right now. Um, yeah, I'm just doing some YouTube on the PlayStation. I had some stuff I had to check in with my college friends. Um, I'm also watching some HBO on my other TV. It's going pretty good. But yeah, we're also going to be doing, like we said, the usual types of things we do on the videos of random. Now, again, this video of random is going to have a lot of different things. Again, lots of different things. First, we're going back and we are going to be doing some yo mama jokes. Okay, so we're going to say a couple yo mama jokes, say some dirty limericks, and maybe do some other stuff. Okay, everybody. Okay, so this is a little bit. Yo mama's so poor when I saw her kicking a can down the street, I asked her what she was doing. She said, moving. Your mama's so poor she can't afford to pay attention. Your mama's so poor when I ring the doorbell, she says, ding. Your mama's so poor your family ate cereal with a fork to save milk. Your mama's so poor when she was in Kmart with a box of hefty bags, we said, what are you doing? She said, buying luggage. Your mama's so poor she waves around a popsicle sticks and calls it air conditioning. Your mama's so tall she tripped over a rock and hit her head on the moon. Your mama's so tall she tripped in Michigan and hit her head in Florida. Your mama's so bald even a wig would not help. Your mama's so bald you can see what's on her mind. Your mama's so bald that she took a shower and got brainwashed. Your mama's so hairy Bigfoot is taking her picture. Your mama's so hairy she wears a Nike tag on her weave, so now everybody calls her Hair Jordan. Your mama's so dark she went to night school and was marked absent. Your mama's so dark she went to night school and was marked absent. Your mama's so short she poses for trophies. Your mama's so short she poses for trophies. Your mama's so short she had to use a ladder to pick up a dime. Your mama's so short she had to play handball on a curve. Your mama's so short she does backflips under my bed. Your mama's so ugly when she joined an ugly contest they said, sorry, no professionals. Your mama's so ugly after she was born her mother said, what a treasure, and her father said, yeah, let's bury it. Yo mama's so ugly that didn't give her a costume when she tried out for Star Wars. Yo mama's so ugly, instead of putting on a bungee cord around her ankle, they put it around her neck. Yo mama's so ugly, she gets 364 extra days to dress up on Halloween. Yo mama's so ugly, when she walks into a bank, they turn off the surveillance camera. Yo mama's so ugly, her mom had to tie a stake around her neck to get the dogs to play with her. Yo mama's so ugly, when she walks down the street in September, people say, wow, is it Halloween already? Yo mama's so ugly, when she walks down the street, people say, is it Halloween already? Yo mama's so ugly, she even made an onion cry. Yo mama's so ugly, when they took her to a beautician, it took 12 hours for her to quote. Your mom is so ugly, she tried to take a bath and the water jumped out. Your mom is so ugly, even Rice Krispies won't talk to her. Your mom is so ugly, her Halloween, she trick or treats on the phone. Your mom is so ugly, she turned Medusa into stone. Your mom is so ugly, the NHL banned her for life. Your mom is so ugly that her father takes her to work with him so that he doesn't have to kiss her goodbye. Your mom is so old, I told her the actor age, and she fucking died. Your mom is so old, her social security number is 1. Your mom is so old that when she was in school, there was no history class. Your mom is so old, she had a picture of Moses in her yearbook. Your mom is so old, her birth certificate said expired on it. Your mom is so old, she knew Burger King when he was still a prince. Your mom is so old, she ran track with dinosaurs. Your mom is so old, her birth certificate was in Roman numerals. Your mama's head so big she had to step into her shirts. Your mama head so big it shows up on a radar. Your mama's teeth are so yellow, traffic slows down when she smiles. Your mama's glasses are so thick that when she looks on a map, she can see people waving. Your mama glasses are so thick, she can see the future. Your mama's house is so small that when she orders a large pizza, she had to go outside to eat it. Your mama house is so small, you have to go outside to change your mind. Your mama's nose is so big, she makes Pinocchio look like a cat. Yo mama's nose is so big that her neck broke from the weight. Yo mama's hair is so short, when she braided it, it looked like stitches. Yo mama's feet are so big, her shoes have to have license plates. Yo mama's so clumsy, she got tangled on a cordless phone. Yo mama so cross-eyed, she watches TV in the stereo. Yo mama is missing a finger and can't count past 9. Yo mama middle name is Rambo. Yo mama Rauchi, the McDonald's he works at doesn't even serve Happy Meals. Yo mama's mouth is so big, she speaks in surround sound. Yo mama's so skinny, she hula hoops with a Cheerio. Yo mama's so skinny, she turned sideways and disappeared. Yo mama is so lazy, she thinks a two-income family is where yo daddy has 2 jobs. Yo mama's so lazy, she got a remote control just to operate her own remote. Yo mama's so lazy that she came in last place in a snail marathon. Yo mama's head's so small, she uses a tea bag as a pillow. Yo mama's head's so small, she had to have an ear pierced and died. Yo mama's had a wheelchair and says, "You ain't gonna punch me around no more." Yo mama's so fat when her beeper goes off, people thought she was backing up. Yo mama's so fat her nickname is Lardo. Yo mama's so fat she eats wheat thicks. Yo mama's so fat people jog around her for exercise. Yo mama's so fat she went to the movies and sat next to everyone. Yo mama's so fat she was floating in the ocean and, and Spain came to her and claimed her as a new world. Yo mama's so fat she lay on a beach and people run and yelling, "Free Willy!" Yo mama's so fat when she has wants someone to shake her hand, she has to give directions. Yo mama's so fat that when she goes to a restaurant, she looks at the menu and says, "Okay." Yo mama's so fat when she wears a yellow raincoat, people said, "Taxi." Yo mama's so fat she put on her lipstick with a paint roller. Yo mama's so fat when she tripped over 4th Avenue, she landed on 12th Avenue. Yo mama's so fat when she bungee jumps, she broke the bridge. Yo mama's so fat the highway patrol made her wear caution wide turns. Yo mama's so fat when she steps on a scale, it read, "1 at a time, please." Yo mama's so fat when she gets on a scale, it says, "We don't do livestock." Yo mama's so fat, she's got her own area code. Yo mama's so fat she looks like she's smuggling a Volkswagen. Your mama's so fat NASA has to orbit a satellite around her. Your mama's so fat whenever she goes to the beach, the tide just comes in. Your mama's so fat when she plays hopscotch, she goes New York, Los Angeles, and then Chicago. Your mama's so fat she wakes up in sections. Your mama's so fat when she goes to an amusement park, people try to ride her. Your mama's so fat she rolled over 4 quarters to make $1. Yo mama's so fat when she lies on a beach no one else gets any sun. Yo mama's so fat when she bungee jumps she goes straight to hell. Yo mama's so fat when she jumps up in the air she got stuck in the clouds. Yo mama's so fat every time she walks in high heels she strikes oil. Yo mama's so fat she fell and made the Grand Canyon. What do you guys think? I think that's pretty good for 100 list of Yo Mama jokes. Some of them are repeated, so technically it's not 100. It's kind of more like 90 something, but it's 100 Yo Mama jokes. Okay, everybody, we're gonna go to dirty jokes. You want to see dirty jokes? Okay, everybody, you want to know some sex jokes? 100 sex jokes. You ready, everyone? Here we go. Because after all, this is a video at random. 100 sex jokes. Did you hear about the gay rabbit? He found a hair up his ass. Did you hear about the gay truckers? They exchange loads. Did you hear about the guy who died of Viagra overdose? They couldn't close his casket. Did you hear about the two gay guys that had arguments in the bar? They went outside to exchange some blows. Did you hear about the two gay judges? They tried each other. Did you hear about the two homosexual judges? They kept trying each other. Did you hear about the new and politically correct name for lesbian? It's been changed to vegetarian. I don't know what that one was. Did you hear the one they came out with a new lesbian shoe? They're called dykes. They have an extra long tongue and only one finger can get out. Did you know that 70% of the gay population was born that way? And the other 30% was sucked in. Did you know that they discovered a new use for a sheep in New Zealand? Wool. Do you know what the square root of 69 is? 8 something. Have you heard about the new line of Tampax with bells and tinsel? It's for a Christmas period. Did you hear about the new gay sitcom? It's called Leave It, It's Beaver. Hey, what's sticky white and falls from the sky? The coming of the Lord. How are a loyal and a prostitute different? The prostitute stops fucking you after you're dead. How are fat girls and mopeds alike? They are fun to ride, but you don't want your friends to find out. How can you tell a head nurse? She's the one with dirty knees. How can you tell if a Western is homosexual? All the good guys are hung. How can you tell if you're in a gay amusement park? They issue gerbils at the Tunnel of Love. How can you tell if you eat pussy well? You wake up in the morning with a face like a glazed donut and a beard like an unwashed paintbrush. How can you tell if your girlfriend wants you? When you put your hand down her pants and it feels like you're feeding your horse. How can you tell when an auto mechanic had sex? One of his fingers was clean. How can you tell if a gay broke his leg on a golf course? He fell off the ball washer. How do men sort out their laundry? Filthy, filthy, but wearable. How do you confuse a female archaeologist? Give her a used tampon and ask her what period it's from. How do you find a blind man a nudist colony? It's not hard. How do you get a nun pregnant? Dress her up as an altar boy. How do you give a blind queer a thrill? You leave the plunger in the toilet. How do you know when a male porn star is in the gas station? Right before the gas stops pumping, he pulls out his nozzle and sprays all over your car. How do you know when the cat's done cleaning himself? He's smoking cigarettes. How do you know when your wife is really dead? Your sex life is the same, but your washing pile got higher. How do you make 5 pounds of fat look good? You give it a nipple. How do you make your girlfriend scream when you have sex? You call her and you tell her. How do you say 69 in Chinese? Tu can chew. How do you teach a blonde math? You subtract her clothes, you divide her legs, and you square root her. How do you tell if a chick's too fat to fuck? When you pull her pants down and her ass is still in them. How do you know if a guy has a high sperm count? If the girl has to chew before she had to swallow. How is a pussy like a grapefruit? The best ones squirt when you eat them. How is a woman like a road? Both have to have manholes. How is being at a singles bar different than being at a circus? At a circus, the clowns don't talk. How many men does it take to open a beer bottle? None. It should be open when she brings it to you. How many newspapers can a woman hold between her legs? One post, two globes, and many times. If your mother and father have a baby, it's not your sister or your brother. Who is it? It's you, you fucking idiots. 3 words that ruin a man's ego. Is it in? What did Adam say to Eve? Stand back. I don't know how big this thing goes. What did one gay sperm say to the other gay sperm? I can't see a thing with all the shit in here. What did the banana say to the vibrator? Why are you shaking? She's gonna eat me. What did the blind man say as he passed the fish market? Good morning, girls. What did the boy vampire say to the girl vampire? See you next period. What did the guy say to his dick after he found out the girl he's getting ready to fuck has genital warts? Hang on, boy, it's gonna be a bumpy ride. What did the pedophile say when he went to jail? I feel like a kid again. What did the woman say to her swimming instructor? Will I really drown if you take your finger out? Uh, what do you do with a dildo and soybeans? What do they have in common? They are both used to substitute meat. What does a gynecologist and a pizza delivery boy have in common? They can both smell it, but you can't eat it. What does a Rubik's Cube and a penis have in common? The longer you play with them, the harder they get. What does a toilet and a woman have in common? Without the hole in the middle, they aren't good for shit. What does a turtle and a pedophile have in common? They both want to get there before the hare does. What do you call a female clown? A clunt. What do you call a female police officer that shaves her pubic hair? Cunt stubble. What do you call a herd of cows masturbating? Beef stroking off. What do you call a hillbilly who owns sheep and goats? Bisexual. What do you call a lesbian dinosaur? A licholotopus. What do you call a lesbian with fat fingers? Well hung. What do you call a man who cries while he masturbates? A tearjerker. What do you call a nun with a sex change operation? A transistor. What do you call a woman with her tongue sticking out? A lesbian with her heart on. What do you call an adolescent rabbit? A pubic hair. What do you call an Alabama farmer with a sheep under his arm? A pimp. What do you call an anorexic prostitute? Light and easy. What do you call it when you have a 90-year-old man masturbating successfully? Miracle Whip. What do you call two lesbians with a period? Finger painting. What do you get when you have a girlfriend start smoking? Slow down and use some lubricant. What do you do with 365 used rubbers? You melt them down, make a tire, and call it Goodyear. What do you get when you have 50 lesbians and 50 politicians in a room together? 100 people who don't do a dick. What do you say to a virgin when she sneezes? Goes in tight. What does a bull do to stay warm in a bitter cold day? He goes in the barn and slips into a nice warm jersey. What does a female snail say during sex? Faster, faster, faster. What does a woman's asshole do when she's having an orgasm? He's usually home with the kids. What does an old woman have between her breast and a young woman doesn't? A navel. What does bungee jumping and hookers have in common? They both cost $100, but if the rubber breaks, you're screwed. What does women and milk cartons have in common? You gotta open their flaps and get to the good stuff. What is the smallest hotel in the world? It's a pussy, 'cause you can't just leave your bags outside. What's a necrophilia's biggest complaint about sex? Just kinda have to lay there. What's a virgin and a balloon have in common? All it takes is one prick and it's all over. What's a female Viagra? Jewelry. Why do men find it difficult to make eye contact? Breasts do not have eyes. Why do only 10% of women go to heaven? Because if they all went, it would be hell. Why do women prefer old gynecologists? Their shaky hands. Why does a penis have a hole in the end? So men could be open minded. Why does a squirrel swim on his back? To keep his nuts dry. Why does a bride always wear white? Well, aren't all kitchen appliances that color? Why don't women blink during foreplay? They don't have the time. Why is a pap smear called a pap smear? Because women wouldn't do them if they're called cunt scrapes. Why is air a lot like sex? Because it's not a big deal unless you're not getting any. Why is being in the military like a blowjob? Because the closer you get to discharge, the better you feel. Why is it called a wonder bra? When she takes it off, you wonder where her tits went. Why is sleeping with a man like a soap opera? Because just when it gets interesting, they finish until next time. And the last joke on this list is, you know why they say that eating oysters would improve a man's sex life? It's because women know if he'll eat one of those, he'll eat everything. Okay, everybody. So the time check right now is 24 minutes. So we're taking a break of those jokes. And we're going to say some dirty limericks. Dirty limericks. Okay, we're going to do some dirty limericks, everybody. Dirty limericks. Dirty limericks. Dirty limericks. Oh, I already did this one already. Let's do another one. Dirty limericks. Dirty. Dirty limericks. Dirty limericks. Funny. Oh my gosh. We have to find some new ones. Because we're not going back to the same ones. We have to find some new ones. Okay. We're trying to find some good dirty limericks. Okay. Alright. We're looking. There once was an old man from Sprocket who went up to space in a rocket. The rocket went bang, his gonads went clang, and his bum ended up in his pocket. There was a young woman called Sally who loved an occasional dally. She sat on her lap of a well endowed chap, and you said, "You're right up my alley. A wonderful bird is a pelican. His bill can hold more than a pelican. He can take his beak, food enough for a week, but I'm damned if I see how the hell can." There was a young man from Savannah who met his end in a curious manner. He whittled a hole in a telephone pole and electrified his banana. There was a young girl from Madras who had the most beautiful ass, not rounded and pink as you probably would think, but gray with long ears and ate grass. This is anonymous. Again, a young engineer named of Paul, who is equipped with an octagonal ball, the square of his weight times his pecker plus 8, his phone number, give him a call. There once was an artist named Saint who swallowed some samples of paint. All shades of the spectrum flowed in his rectum with a colorful lack of restraint. There once was a man from Bonaire who was doing his wife on a stair. When the banisters broke, he doubled his strokes and finished her off in midair. There was a young lady whose chin resembled the point of a pin, so she had to make it sharp. So she made it sharp and purchased a harp and played several tunes with her chin. Hmm, not that's the one's not good. There was an old person of Dover who rushed through a field of blue clover, but some very large bees stung his nose and his knees, so he very soon went back to Dover. No, that's not a good one. There was an old lady of Chertsey who made a remarkable curtsy. She twirled round and round till she sunk underground, which distressed all the people of Chertsey. There was an old man who supposed that the street door was partially closed, but some very large rats ate his coat and his hats, while that futile old gentleman dozed. There was an old man in a tree, whose whiskers were lovely to see, but the birds of the air plucked them perfectly bare to make themselves nests from the trees. There was an old person of Ware who rode on the back of a bear. When they asked, "Does it trot?" he said, "Certainly not. He's a mopsican, flopsican bear." Um, I gotta find some other ones. I gotta find some other ones. That's not enough. I need more. I need more. I need more. That's not enough. I need more. More limericks. Where do we find more limericks? Where do we find more limericks? Come on. Okay, everybody. I'm going to read some more limericks and then I'm going to close this out after I read these limericks. A funny limerick about neatness. There was a young fellow of Crete who was so excessively neat. When he got out of bed, he stood on his head to make sure of not soiling his feet. There's some more, guys. The bottle of Scent Willy scent was quite displeasing to Millicent. Her thanks were so cold that they quarreled, I'm told, 'bout that silly Scent Willy scent Millicent. There was a girl from Rabat who had triplets, Nat, Pat, and Tat. It was fun in the breedin', but hell in the feedin', when she found she had no tit for a tat. A patient who kept getting worse cried out, I must go home now, nurse. You've done all your best and performed every test, but I've come to the end of my purse. There once was a young man from Lyme who married 3 wives at a time. When he asked why a third, he replied, one's absurd, and bigamy, sir, it's a crime. At times I'm so mad that I'm hoppin', my angriness sets my veins poppin', I yell and I curse with swear words diverse, but my wife does much worse when she goes shopping. There was a young fellow named Hall who fell in the spring and the fall. 'Twould have been a sad thing had he died in the spring, but he didn't, he died in the fall. There was a young fellow from Belfast that I wanted so badly to tell fast, not to climb up the stair, as the top step was error, that's why the young fellow fell fast. There was a young lady named Harris, whom nothing could ever embarrass, till the bath salts one day, in the tub where she lay, turned out to be a plaster of Paris. There once was a man from Nantucket who kept all his cash in a bucket. His daughter named Nan ran away with a man, and as the bucket, Nantucket. Okay, that is not enough limericks. So, anyway, guys, there's just not enough limericks on here. I thought there would have been more limericks on here, but again, guys, this is just another video of random. You have a nice day, and I'll see y'all around. Bye.